Happening now, 2 fatal crashes claimed 3 lives in Cattaraugus County over the weekend, and a Chautauqua County Olympian now honored in Fredonia. Plus, a push is underway seeking $3 billion in funding for 9/11 survivors.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Those stories and more are coming up, but first, car accidents were reported in Cattaraugus County. The first happened late Friday night after a Pontiac struck a utility pole on State Route 16 in the town of Yorkshire. New York State Police say the car was operating erratically just before the collision. The driver, 30-year-old Jarrett Kyle of Arcade, New York, and front seat passenger, 33-year-old Willie Biles of Delavan, were ejected. Kyle was pronounced deceased at the scene by the county coroner, while Boyles was transported to the Chaffee Hospital in Springville, where he later succumbed to his injuries. Meanwhile, the Cattaraugus County Sheriff's Office investigated another fatal crash on Pigeon Hill Road in the town of Freedom on Saturday. The driver of that car, which was not identified, was pronounced deceased at the scene. The vehicle's 3 remaining passengers were taken to ECMC for their injuries. The cause of the crash, deputies say, remains under investigation. A 30-year-old Jamestown man is facing several charges after police allegedly busted him with a stolen vehicle and loaded handgun on Sunday. Officers with the Jamestown Police Department say Nelson Hernandez was allegedly observed driving a stolen vehicle in the area of North Main and 6th Streets around 3:20 when police officers stopped his car. Hernandez immediately then exited the vehicle and began to walk away from that scene, disobeying police. Hernandez, police said, was later taken into custody. He was allegedly found with a loaded handgun. A court order of protection said that forbidden Hernandez from possessing a firearm. And apparently I am having a microphone issue, so we'll just switch out. Let's see, you guys should be able to hear me better now. We do apologize for that. Some other news that we're following from across Chautauqua County today. The county now being sued by the village of Mayville for $2.5 million. That for allegedly contaminating water wells during fire training exercises. A summons was filed in Chautauqua County Supreme Court on Friday. Village officials are seeking to recover financial losses following the 2021 contamination of wells supplying the public water supply. The summons claims that this contamination was caused during a training exercise which was held in the village, when firefighters used an Aquarius film foaming foam. Between 2014 and 2018, the foam appeared to have leached into the water supply, resulting in high levels of perfluoric acid. A weeks-long do not drink advisory then was issued in December of 2020, and that forced the shutdown of a water well. The village has since installed a new well on a different aquifer, correcting that issue. Well, a record-holding Olympian from northern Chautauqua County was celebrated by the community over the past weekend. Fredonia native Jenscher was in the village on Saturday when leaders from the region unveiled a monument commemorating the accomplishments from her career. In June, Suhr announced her retirement from Olympic pole vaulting after receiving multiple Olympic medals and setting several world records that are still standing today. Suhr attended Fredonia High School in her youth, something she says contributed greatly to her growth as an athlete.
As I was playing different sports coming through, and then as a professional athlete, the support was still there. And that's what I want to do now is be a fan. I want to go to the games. I want to follow. I want to follow careers to college. And I want to follow careers afterwards. And that's what I'm looking for to retirement right now.
Now, Suhr's new monument is at the corner of West Main Street and Park Place in the village's Barker Commons, if you'd like to check it out. Pretty cool story. Certainly great to have Jen back home. Well, work is underway to paint 3 murals at a parking garage in downtown Jamestown. Our Alyssa Wright joins us live in studio today with more on this project, which actually kicked off over the weekend. Alyssa?
Justin, local artist Molly Strong was commissioned back in July to bring life to the walls of the Spring Street parking garage with 3 new floral-themed murals.
I was hired by the city to make 3 murals downtown on the parking ramp here, and they will all have a floral theme.
The theme is meant to complement the already existing murals that adorn buildings across the city.
So I had to come up with a concept, and I had to make sure it would work well underneath the Lucy mural as well, because you'd be seeing them both at the same time.
Strong is no stranger to painting murals.
I've always wanted to do a very large-scale outdoor mural. I've created murals before, but this is my first one outside where all of the public can see it and drive past it and, have selfies in front of it, enjoy it as much as they can.
In fact, art is something that she has always had a passion for.
As long as I can remember, I've always loved to draw and create, and I come from a very creative household, very supportive of what I love to do, so since I was a kid. To be able to have that in our city, like along with all the other Lucy murals, and kind of switch it up and bring some color downtown, it's just important to bring that happiness back to the community.
While there is no exact date of when this project will be completed, there is a deadline.
I have to finish these before it snows, so that is my timeline.
Pedestrians can watch this art come to life over the next few months when passing by the parking garage at the corner of 3rd and Spring Street in downtown Jamestown. Reporting in studio, Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
All right, Alyssa, thank you so much for sharing that with us. Great to see some color, and I can't wait to see the whole thing come together for sure. Well, now let's switch gears and get a first check of our weather forecast. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter standing by with that. And Dakota, it's looking like a pretty beautiful day outside today. It looks like that's Chautauqua Institution there behind you?
Yes, it is, Justin. That is the Chautauqua Institution that is right behind us right there. And we're actually starting to see the sun starting to peek through the clouds after we had the rainfall that came through this morning. In fact, here is the rain for you on First Defense Doppler along with the satellite. This is that heavy shower right here that came across Jamestown that produced that rain between 8, 9, and 10 o'clock. That's a little rain shower right there. This is now moving towards the northeast into Cattaraugus County. So pretty much after that, we are dry right now, but we are going to see the development of more showers, maybe a couple rumbles as we go through the afternoon. 73 was the high yesterday, started the day at 54, 94 and 30 are the records. So through the afternoon today, just occasional showers, a couple rumbles, cloudy and cool, 66 on the highest hills to 73 across the lower elevations with a southwest wind. Now, I do have more rain in the forecast for the next couple of days, then it dries out. We'll talk about it with the Ultimate Satellite Solutions 7-day forecast later in the show, Justin.
All right, Dakota, we'll see you back in just a bit as we roll along. With crime on the rise here in the city of Jamestown, a public forum happening this week to address concerns. We'll give you the details on when and where you need to be to have your voices heard. And later, a state disaster of emergency now declared in New York after polio found in 5 counties statewide. Stay with us. WNY News Now is back after this.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than DeWyas Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on DeWyas Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. DeWyas Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
When severe weather breaks, one team has you covered, tracking the storms as they happen. Catch your First Defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
A public forum to discuss the crime increase in Jamestown is happening this week. The meeting will take place on Wednesday at Christ First United Methodist Church. That's at 663 Lakeview Avenue in Jamestown. It starts at 6:30. The Jamestown Police Department and Department of Development will be on hand to give presentations on neighborhood and housing concerns, as well as the increase in gun violence and drug activity. Council President Tony Doles announced this meeting during a press conference following a deadly shooting in mid-August. The forum is open to all in the community that wish to attend. New York Governor Kathy Hochul has declared a state disaster emergency after polio was detected in wastewater samples. The CDC announcing that they have found polio virus in 5 New York counties. The executive order also requires healthcare providers to give polio immunization data to the state health department. This will help focus vaccination efforts where they are needed the most. Well, a former client of the Crime Victims Center, a nonprofit dedicated to helping victims of sexual assault and violence, is sharing her story to raise awareness. Erie News Now's Jameson Hicksonbaugh explains how the organization is helping many families recover from traumatic events.
I wouldn't have my life today and be happy if it wasn't here.
As a child, Patty Starvaggi experienced what no person should ever endure.
At the age of 10, I was assaulted by a stepfather at gunpoint.
After carrying trauma with her for decades, Patty decided to get help.
When you have that, it's like a sore that keeps opening up to your soul, and you really need to talk about it. You can't just keep pushing it back because it will continue to haunt you whether you like it or not.
For 6 years, Patty went to the Crime Victims Center for help. The organization offers counseling services to victims of violence at no cost.
I did not have health insurance at that time. This was the only place that provided that counseling. Had it not been for the Crime Victims Center, I would have been financially bankrupt.
Those are the stories that make this worthwhile doing every single day. Those are the stories that keep us going, that we know we are making a difference, that we're having a positive impact on people's lives.
Patty hopes her story will help shine a light on the need for the center's services.
I can talk about it, but there's so many people that never say a word. Never speak up or say a word. They just numb their feelings, and they think that if they keep pushing them down, they're not going to come back up again, but it does. It will haunt you.
Jameson Hicksonbaugh, Erie News Now.
Jameson, thank you. Important stories to tell for sure. Well, New York legislators are aiming to close a $3 billion gap for the 9/11 First Responders Health Fund. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says they need to keep pace with the rising demands for new program participants. He says many New Yorkers are getting diagnosed with 9/11 related cancer or other health complications in the aftermath of the attack. Schumer believes there is a strong chance they will succeed in securing the funds for this endeavor.
But the best way we can never forget, folks, is to get this done, to make sure that the people who are hurt, the people who are taken care of, are given their due, given their health care, given their hope, and, God forbid, a loved one is lost, their families get help as well.
The World Trade Center Health Program provides no-cost medical monitoring and treatment for people with certified health conditions related to the 9/11 attacks. This program is authorized through 2090. Well, Jamestown area Boy Scouts and other volunteers, they've joined forces to help clean up trash on the city's north side. Those from Cub Scout Pack 123 of Jamestown and Troop 133 of Frewsburg. Their parents and other volunteers spent the day Saturday cleaning up McKinley Avenue here in Jamestown. These service projects, according to Cub Master Joseph Lang, helps the Scouts keep their promise to help other people. While the Scouts should do their best to lend a hand every day, Lang says a group service project like this one is a bigger way to lend a hand. The Scouts credit Justin Miller of Tactical Tree Solutions for collaborating to help make this event possible. The group says they look forward to doing more of these service projects in the future, and they hope others in Jamestown will get behind their efforts to help out. So it looks like a lot of good there for a big stretch of the city. Coming up, a popular SUV now recalled. Find out if your vehicle is at risk. And later, the Pentagon holding a ceremony yesterday to remember and mourn the lives lost during the 9/11 attack. We hear from President Joe Biden and what he had to say. But first, Dakota's back with a full look at our weather forecast. Stay with us. WNY News Now will be back right after this.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
Right here, baby. Look. Uma.
Something more than a birthday is happening here. Once you can see it, you can help. The sooner you recognize the signs of autism, the sooner you can make a lifetime of difference for your child. Start by answering a few simple questions at screenforautism.org.
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza. Yes.
Make a plan today.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Fast, accurate, and every day. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back, everybody, and wanted to talk about the rainfall that we've had so far today. The Jamestown Airport has officially gauged a little more than 1/4 of an inch worth of rainfall since midnight. That is when we start keeping records for the next day, which starts at midnight. So when you factor all this together, the rainfall for the month here, add the 0.36 inches to the 0.05 of an inch we had yesterday, that brings our monthly total to 2.55 inches, and we're still running above average for the month by about 1 inch. Now, there is the chance that a couple showers this afternoon could contain some heavy downpours. So for that, the Weather Prediction Center has us under a marginal risk for flash flooding. Understand, this is not the severe weather outlook. This is the flash flooding outlook. And the green is the marginal. The yellow is the slight that goes up towards Rochester. So that'll be where the heavier rain is. I'm not entirely sure where the HD News Now cam is. I think the signal got lost in the ether world. 68 degrees right now with a west wind of 10. There is something outside. It's not black outside. Not sure what happened there. But let's take a look at First Defense Doppler radar, and you'll be able to see here that this is what's left of that rain shower that moved on through the city this morning. That brought us that quick 300ths of an inch at the airport. Now moving towards the northeast, that's going to be moving away from the southern tier. And look at this. We've got spinning right around the low. You spin me right around, baby, right around. Yes, it is. Right around the area of low pressure. And that's where the rain is coming from. So you can see Future Scan painting a couple more scattered showers through the afternoon hours. And especially into the evening, we're not going to rule out the chance for maybe a couple rumbles of thunder to go along with that. Rain will continue mainly this evening. We'll taper off for the overnight. And then tomorrow, we're going to see a redevelopment of scattered showers, maybe a couple rumbles through the afternoon hours as well. But no severe weather is expected. But again, maybe some heavy downpours could be possible out of that. By the time we head into Wednesday, we may see a few more isolated showers. So picking up rainfall amounts, we could be getting close to about half an inch of rainfall in some spots. We start tomorrow around 52, 61 at noon. We're only going to be in the upper 60s for high temperatures tomorrow. You can see in the next 7 days, only 66 here in the city, 72 on Wednesday. The sun will be back out Thursday and Friday. The weekend looking nice with only a few clouds and temperatures return to right around average. Justin.
All right, Dakota, thank you very much. Well, let's get some headlines from around the nation now. Ford is recalling two of its most popular SUVs. The automaker recalled 200,000 Ford Expeditions and Lincoln Navigators after learning about heating and cooling fan motors which could catch fire. The specific models are being recalled were built between 2015 and 2017. So far, the company has received reports of 25 fires. 12 of those caused extensive damage to the vehicles. Ford will begin reaching out to owners on September 12th. It's asking customers to bring those vehicles back for free repairs. President Joe Biden has a big goal: cut cancer deaths in half over the next 25 years. It's called the Cancer Moonshot Initiative. He'll talk about it and where efforts stand in Boston today. Quite fitting considering it's the 60th anniversary of JFK's famous "We choose to go to the moon" speech. The speech is expected to draw parallels between the push to land on the moon and Biden's own, quote, vision for another American moonshot, a future where we end cancer as we know it. The cancer cabinet he put together has laid out 5 key priorities, which include closing the screening gap, understanding and addressing environmental exposure, and decreasing the impact of preventable cancers, among several others. The president will deliver his remarks at the John F. Kennedy Library this afternoon. Well, yesterday, our nation marked the anniversary of September 11th's terrorist attack. And President Biden says he remembers the lives stolen from us on that day, adding they'll continue to protect and defend America from terrorists. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports from the memorial at the Pentagon.
Brady K. Howell.
In a somber and rainy memorial ceremony,
Peggy M. Hurt.
Officials read the names of the 184 people who died at the Pentagon from the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks. To pay tribute to those who lost their lives, an American flag was unfurled at the site where the jetliner crashed into the Pentagon, and families could visit the stone memorial benches, each bearing a name of someone who died here.
Every night, 184 lights come on, lighting up each bench. And those lights remind us that even on our darkest days, the American spirit still shines.
The Defense Secretary, the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and President Biden touched on the heroic acts from everyday Americans following the attack.
With civilians and service members leaping to action as the walls collapsed and the roof began to crumble.
But also the effort the U.S. has played in going after those responsible.
And this summer, I authorized a successful strike on Zawahiri, the man who bin Laden was his deputy at 9/11, who was the leader of al-Qaeda, because we will not rest. We'll never forget. We'll never give up.
Biden says it's not enough to gather and remember 9/11.
We have an obligation, a duty, a responsibility to defend, preserve, and protect our democracy. The very democracy that guarantees the rights of freedom that those terrorists on 9/11 sought to bury in the burning fire and smoke and ash. And that takes a commitment on the part of all of us.
At the Pentagon, Rachel Knapp reporting.
Rachel, thank you. Coming up next, thousands of people lining Edinburgh's Royal Mile to pay tribute to the late Queen Elizabeth II. We check in as the UK honors her lifetime of devotion.
Catch your first defense forecast daily on WNY News Now.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
Move over.
When you see signs,
lights,
Vests.
please give us some room.
Slow down.
Slow down and move over.
When you need help,
It's our job
To help you.
to save you.
despite the danger.
This danger is real.
Do your part.
Please
Slow down. Slow down. And move over.
move over.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
The death of Queen Elizabeth II has set into motion an infinite period of time, which will accumulate with a huge state funeral on September 19th, honoring her lifetime of devotion and steadfast service. Today, Scotland honoring her with a prayer service at St. Giles Cathedral. Riley Carlson is in London with more.
A service of prayer for Queen Elizabeth II was held at St. Giles Cathedral in Edinburgh Monday. Her son, King Charles III, and the Queen Consort were in attendance, along with other members of the royal family.
I think that it's important that we honour her as is due to our Queen. I think it's important that we reflect her life adequately.
King Charles had a full schedule Monday, starting at the Houses of Parliament. In his first address there as king, he vowed to continue the Queen's dedicated service to her people. He then flew to Scotland for a prayer service and a meeting with the Scottish Parliament. All along the way, he greeted members of the public who showed up to wish him well and offer condolences for the Queen. On Sunday, her coffin made its way from her beloved Balmoral estate, where she died Thursday, to the capital. An honor guard and military band led the procession.
She's the only queen I've ever known. I mean, I think she's done really good for us.
It's just probably something quite historic, like she's been through quite a lot with the country, and then probably not going to see another queen again in our lifetime.
In London, I'm Riley Carlson.
All right, Riley, thank you very much. Certainly a woman who touched so many people, and I know we were talking about this last week, Dakota. For me, what stands out the most is just how much history she's lived through, and from World War II through global pandemic. I mean, did you have two extremes of time? And it's not the fact that she just was alive then and she would have remembered those events, but the fact that she had a crucial part in those for what we'd call a modern country. So it's really incredible to see, and the amount of people who are showing out to take part. I know they have this week in some change of mourning that they're going to be doing there. But this is what, once in a generation thing, where you'd have a monarch who lived for so long, and now you have the power changing and the people who are mourning her. It's just really incredible, and all the generations of people she's touched too. Like you watch a lot of the national
we've gone
news
through what?
Yeah,
3, 4 generations.
Yeah, I believe so. That would have been alive.
Something like that, at least.
I think
3,
4.
I think.
Yeah, three or 4 of generations of people who knew, and many of them only knew her as the queen, right? So now it's obviously changing off to her son, and then I'd imagine probably within our lifetime, we may see Prince William taking over as king again. So that'll be interesting to see the dynamics of that and what's new for the folks there across the pond. And one thing that sticks out to me, and I know we talked about this on Friday, if you didn't catch this Julia story, it was really good. People here in Jamestown, in the United States, still have, I don't want to call it an obsession, but an interest in the royal politics. Even though, 200 years ago, we defected from the UK, from Great Britain, the British Empire, and started our own country, but yet we're still interested in it. It's really incredible. So certainly we'll continue to watch that and cover that as things progress along. That is it for us. A little closer to home, we'll show you a live look outside of Randolph there where you see some of that mixed clouds. If you missed anything we talked about, news continues 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com.